Good morning from Off-Grid Acres. I will give one last update before I take my summer break. I'm going to enjoy the things Del Rio has to offer. I have already been cycling, but I'm planning to get back into scuba diving. So I'll start off here at the lake and then eventually work my way around to other places once I feel comfortable returning to scuba diving. So this morning, as I was walking the dogs, I found a diamondback snake. Fortunately, it was cool enough that it was docile and just kind of probably waiting for the sun to come up so it can take off. I did capture it underneath a plastic container, so I'm not sure that I feel comfortable trying to actually put it into the container. I may just leave it there, and unfortunately the sun will cook it. But I gotta do what I gotta do to protect myself and my animals. So the rain pretty much has stopped and the sun is beating down with fire of fury. In doing that, it is now bringing up the sage. I have a sea of lavender on my property and it's buzzing with bees, which is nice. As I'm walking down the trail, I like to stop at a lavender bush sometimes, or a sage bush actually, and just listen to the humming. It's so relaxing. So a few things that I've done, trying to catch all the rain when it was coming down. I did get this one up here on this back building here. Trying to make it to where I have it go to one container and then fill up the others. I have to reorganize this because it's going the wrong way, but trying to make it to where the first one gets it and then it sends it down from the bottom. Unlike what I'm doing at the back of the houses over there, I'm having it fill from the top, or more like from the sides into one another. So we'll see which works best. The chickens all but chewed up my bushes, my banana bushes, and thankfully they grow pretty fast. They were all like this. Chickens just ate them up. I guess feeding them the banana pills, they got a taste for bananas. So they came at my banana trees, and they are venturing out further into the property to get bugs and stuff. So I put these cages around them, and now they're just growing back. And I just got to keep them protected. I never thought to have a cage around them until they chewed them up. I did manage to do that with my garden to keep them from out of there. That was more for the rabbits than anything, but I guess it'll work for the chickens as well, obviously. So let's see. I have all these plants I still need to plant. My goal is hopefully within the next week I'll get those done. Let's see. Oh, no. It's starting to get hot. We're going on our third 3-digit hot day. Over 100, 103, 104. I think today's the last one for a few days, and then we'll get a few more. I did make this what I thought was a really good rabbit cage that they wouldn't escape. I was calling it Haircatraz, only to find out that the male rabbit did get out. So I went ahead and just ended up releasing all the rabbits. I don't know what happened to the male rabbit. He hung around close to where the chickens are for a couple of days and then ended up, who knows where he is. Maybe got eaten by something, maybe found himself a girlfriend, who knows. I did have this cage to catch him, and it worked probably at least 2 or 3 times when he had gotten out before, but I guess he got smart and was no longer getting into the cage. So unfortunately my chickens had to end up in there, and I did manage to get them out. You can see one of the rabbits there. I think that's one of the females though that I recently released. I did manage to save a couple of the chickens, but I was working late one night at the fitness center, and unfortunately I didn't even bother checking the cage because I saw the male rabbit out by the front of the property, so I figured he wasn't in the cage. Well, the next morning I did find one of my chickens dead. I was sad about that, but that's when I decided my animals need more attention than I was giving them by working at the fitness center. So I'm no longer working there, and like I said, I'm just going to take the summer off. I'm not going to do too much around the property. Maybe just a little bit here and a little bit there, maybe 2 hours every other day or something like that in the cooler weather. My ducks are enjoying their little pond here. They get in there on occasion, and either they're eating the algae or drinking the water or cooling off, whatever they're doing. But they are using it, so I'm glad. One of the things I wanted to show is my nesting boxes, how I usually get the eggs. Well, I usually used to get them like this, which there's some there for me to collect. But I found that it was difficult to keep the pine in here, the pine shavings, and I was using a license plate to try and keep it in there. But then I just decided that what I would do is switch the panel around and make it like this so that the pine shavings don't come out. Here's one of the license plates I was using to try and keep the shavings out. I'll probably remove that, but now you can see that the pine shavings don't come out as easily, and they're a lot easier to reach into, clean everything out, you know. So I'm gonna switch those other two over there, flip them around so that they look like this too. Let's see. What else is going on? Not too much. My little chicklets are getting big. They'll probably start laying in a few months, probably by the end of the summer. They'll start laying, as well as the ducks. It'll be interesting to see where the ducks start laying, because they supposedly like to lay on the ground, and they've been hanging around over in this area a lot. There's a cardboard box on the ground back there behind the sage, back there behind the sage bushes. So I'm wondering if that's going to be their spot. I may end up creating just a little area with bricks or something and put some shavings or something back there to help them have a better place for the eggs, if that's where they choose to lay. So all of my rain barrels during the storms were pretty much filled, with an exception of those blue ones back by that other building. And now I'm just trying to gauge how much water the plants and the animals are using, so that I know if I can go through the summer without having to go and collect a lot of water from my brother. At some point I plan on making those big containers that I have, the 275-gallon ones. I'm going to see if I can hook them up to a gutter as well. And these ones, two of them, hook them up to gutters also so they can collect rainwater in the fall. And then we'll see if I can become completely self-sufficient as far as water is concerned. Of course, the rain is gonna vary from year to year, season to season. But for the most part, we'll see if I can manage with that. I am going to the fitness center in Del Rio, so I get my showers there. That saves on some water. And so mostly this water that I do get in these containers here are, oh look, there's another rabbit over there. I wonder if that's the male. I'll see if I can see the red mark on his forehead when he comes this way. Anyway, mostly this water in these big containers are being used for washing dishes and drinking. So we'll see how the water situation continues. I can't think of much else. So, oh, there he is. But I think it's the other female. I don't think it's the male. Unfortunately, the marks on their heads are starting to wear off. So, we'll no longer be able to tell if whether or not it's the male or the female. But regardless, we'll see what happens with the rabbits. Well, you all enjoy your summer and enjoy the rest of this day, this beautiful, gorgeous day, and hope to see you soon.